what is the state of wealth management technology in 2025?
Yeah, in terms of the general state of wealth management technology, I would say, the industry is pretty mature, right? Wealth management is an established business. And, what we see in our research is that, the utilization of technology to enable the primary functions that happen within a wealth management firm and an advisor practice. On the investment side, advisors are pretty extensively using technology to deliver their services. Where we see a little bit of a drop off is when we look at some of the operational technology. So things like fee billing or client portal. That's where we start to see a little drop off in terms of utilization, and I think potential opportunity for vendors who are offering solutions in that space.
It seems like that back end investment reporting, back office functionality in terms of getting portfolio management, investment reporting has been in place for a while. That the advisors kind of gone through that wave and probably even gone through second and third waves and replacing their back office accounting systems. But you're saying that there's more room to be had on the front end in terms of client facing technology.
Yeah, client facing in really technology that's kind of enabling the practice. So things like digital marketing, CRM, even, a lot of firms deploy CRM, but utilization and adoption is not as high as I think it potentially could be, and could really be an enabler of advisor practices instead of really just a check the box action. And we can talk about this in a little bit more detail later, but certainly the innovation that's happening in terms of AI, I think, is top of the first inning. There's a lot of room for AI to kind of enable advisors to do what they do more efficiently. It's been pretty slow to roll out so far, but we think long term it is going to have an impact on what the advisor practice looks like in the future.
Certainly, with the demographics going on, I mean, the industry has struggled to be able to attract and retain talent. I think the average age of an advisor is mid 50s or late 50s. So there's a need for succession planning and being able to bring in the next gen. But hopefully, some of these technologies can kind of mitigate that, make that advisor certainly more productive. I want to kind of drill in on those 2 points that you talked about a little bit around CRM adoption and MarTech in particular. I think a lot of times advisors have kind of relied on the passive referral. Certainly markets have gone up and that has helped them revenue wise, but they've also kind of been more passive in terms of their growth strategy. You're seeing advisors now putting more focus on inbound marketing and being able to enhance their organic growth beyond the referral.
Not yet, and I think that's an area, if we look across advisors operations, I think our perspective is that digital marketing tools, particularly leveraging AI to enable advisors to engage the marketplace more efficiently, we think there's a lot of potential upside. To your point, Mark, it's really interesting. So we've run a survey of advisors for well over a decade. We survey close to 2,000 advisors every year. One of the questions that we consistently ask them is, what the source of their new business is, and what the practices or what the challenges that they experience in their practice are. The number one challenge consistently that we've heard from advisors is new business development. And at the same time, most new business for advisors, new assets coming in, are referrals from existing clients. And so, to your earlier point, bringing in that next generation of advisor talent has been a real challenge, right? Because it's a chicken and the egg problem. Like you can bring in a talented advisor, but if he doesn't have an existing book, and
Right.
the vast majority of new advisor assets are coming from an existing book, it's a huge challenge. And that's why we see such huge failure rates in this industry, failure rates of 75% and up. And so, I think the younger advisors coming into the industry are more committed to leveraging, social media and other digital marketing approaches. But the rest of the industry is still, I think, slower than they probably should be at adopting those tools. And there are a lot of impediments to doing it, right? Compliance is a big challenge. To your point, Mark, the average advisor is older and probably less familiar with social media than the next generation of advisors coming in. So there are a lot of it's not an easy challenge to solve, but I think as technology matures, as tech vendors and home offices incorporate AI to enable advisors to more efficiently, market and engage with social media, I think that's going to be a win for advisors long term.